All right, so today we're gonna be going over how to backtail. And this trick for me, honestly, was a really scary trick to learn. A lot of committing you gotta do. It's a sketchy slide. So today we're gonna go over how to get into the trick, how to hold the backtail, and how to get out of the backtail. So hopefully these little tricks and tips help you guys, but these are just the ways that I use to get comfortable learning this trick. So enough of me talking, let's just get into it, yeah? So first things first, let's talk about getting into the ledge. And finding the right ledge is always kind of tricky. But this is definitely a trick I suggest that you do not learn on a really low ledge or a curb or anything. And the reason why is that when you ollie up and you put all that pressure going down and all that weight, you tend to slip out and it's a little sketchy. But for some reason, when the ledge is a little bit higher, you don't push down as hard on the tail, so you're not gonna just shoot out as crazy. I mean, you definitely still can, but I feel like it's less likely when the ledge is a little bit higher. Next thing I want to bring up when we're learning this trick, as you can see, we're going to learn how to stall this trick on an unwaxed ledge. And the reason why is we want to get comfortable getting into the backtail. We want to build the confidence so when it comes to sliding, we're not freaking out. Because trust me, with this trick, you could definitely freak out. At least I get scared. I mean, maybe not for everybody else, but this trick is a scary trick to learn. Kind of funny we haven't gone on our board yet, but this is what we're gonna do first. We're literally just gonna kind of stand next to the ledge and kind of get used to awling and getting into the backtail. We're gonna roll a little bit because standing still sometimes is like a little hard to do. And when you actually do a backtail, when you're rolling up to it, so I definitely want you guys to try this both ways. The first way being pretty parallel to the ledge like we are. So when you do it this way, it's kind of more of an ollie up and a late turn into it. Or you can kind of approach it more at an angle. So then you start your back 180 a little bit sooner. So the time that you are kind of leveled out, your tail's already here. It really is a personal preference on which you like better. I've noticed when I learned switchback tail, for me, it was easier to go right next to the ledge. But I feel like as a normal back tail, I kind of slightly curve into it, but I'll show you a little bit of both. And it's really up to you to decide what's more comfortable. Actually, before we actually ollie into the back tail, I do want to show you guys my foot stance. My foot positioning is I'm pretty much in my ollie position. I do have my kind of toes a little bit around the edge right here, just because I know I'm going to do a back 180 kind of. I do want a little bit of scoop right there, but that's pretty much my foot positioning. My toes not completely to the edge of the board, it seems like. It seems like right here. It seems to be like my comfy position. So I just wanted to point this out to you guys and show what it looks like. But I'm pretty much in like a back 180 position. So we're just going to roll next to the ledge and sit up here. So like, as you could see, that wasn't really a good back tail attempt, but just kind of getting into it right now is the whole point. We'll talk about kind of getting in and locking in after, but right now let's just really focus on ollieing and getting your tail up here. So that was kind of me rolling right next to the ledge. You can kind of see I ollied up and then I turned, where this way might look a little bit different. Kind of coming at an angle now. As you guys kind of probably just saw, it was definitely a little bit more comfortable, for me at least, as I kind of came at the angle. It allowed me to kind of rotate that back 180 a little bit more before I sat in the tail. So now that we've actually ollied and locked into a few, before we actually start sliding the trick, let's talk about holding this trick first. Because you definitely want to feel what it's going to be like to stand in the position before you start sliding in that position. It seems like when you kind of approach it at the angle, you're going to do that back 180 motion. So your body weight already is going to be kind of dipped in already. So you're going to naturally just kind of stay like this and kind of maybe slide to a back 180. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So when you're olling into it, the best way to kind of practice it is pretend you're olling into a drop-in position. Because you want your, like for me, if you're goofy foot, you want your right shoulder kind of looking out. And if you're regular foot, you're going to want your left shoulder looking out. And by doing this, you're going to stand in like that drop-in position I was saying, and you're going to hold the slide a little bit longer. And you're probably going to end up going out to regular. But we'll talk about going out to regular after we talk about sliding. Really just stand up here, look where your foot is like when you drop in and like your body weight, like how all of your weight is on your back foot. Like you really don't need your front foot. Your front foot is literally just guiding you, because your front foot is going to help you go out to regular, or it's going to help you go out to fakie. But it's really right now all about that back foot. So when we're ollieing in, you can kind of see how like we're in a perfect drop-in position right here. And that's honestly where you want to be at. You want to feel the wheels lock in right there. Lock in kind of awkwardly this way or this way. It's not going to be the most perfect. You know, you really want to aim for that perfect sweet spot. And especially when you're practicing olling into it, be sure you're standing up straight. So like ollie into it and then into that drop-in position up here. You're ollieing into the trick. you're gonna notice pretty quickly, if your shoulders are kind of hunched over like this, you're gonna start dipping out of the trick pretty easily already. If you keep your shoulders kind of straight up, it'll help you kind of lock into that back tail as if you're dropping into a quarter pipe. And that's the position you really wanna be in when you're doing your back tail. Another way to get comfortable getting into your back tail is probably just doing back 5-0s. And you could even slide the back 5-0 into the back tail, kind of like this, and then into that. It helps you kind of just put all of that weight on your back just so you get comfortable. But definitely take it easy at first. Do not go fast on it, especially if it's an angle iron ledge. It's probably gonna be a little slick. And like I said, for some reason, when you get into back tail, that thing just wants to slide. But yeah, so take it slow at first. Definitely don't do a crazy amount of sliding. I personally think it might be easier to try in the middle of the ledge, just so you kind of just like, you don't have to worry about sliding off the edge or anything. You can literally just focus on getting your tail into it. The other thing you guys might want to consider doing this trick, a lot of you might not agree with this one, but if you're taking this trick pretty slow, maybe wax the ledge a little bit. I think the biggest thing, honestly, besides the top of it, would be the side of it where your wheels hit. Because with this trick, your wheels do tend to hit the ledge pretty hard. And if you don't want to wax the ledge, definitely wax your board. Another little technique I'd like to do getting comfortable sliding back tail is that I'll do a little kind of a combo trick. I'll do a back 50-50 and then I'll just kind of turn into a back tail. This way, like, you can just kind of get that feeling of what the back tail is really gonna slide like. Because with this one, it's a little hard. Like with the front side tail slide, you can kind of like put your tail down and kind of like push forward. With back tail, that doesn't really work that way. You can't, I mean, I guess you can do, no, that doesn't really work. It's not as chill, actually, don't try that. I just personally feel the back 50-50 into the back tail motion just kind of gets you set up and like gets you a feeling of what the back tail is really gonna feel like. When you ollie straight into the back tail, it can be really scary, where I feel like this way is a nice kind of like introduction into the back tail slide, you know? So I'll show you guys what that looks like. You're trying it right away. What I would do is literally put your like board down like this and just kind of turn into it and see what that feels like. And when you're doing this too, since you're kind of doing that 180 motion, I feel like it's probably easiest just to do back 180 out. But I feel like trying this will really help you get comfortable doing back tail. And yeah, you don't even have to go fast. Like, just, you know, start out, feel a little something, go to regular. All right, now that we talked about how to get into the back tail, how to hold your back tail, the right position you want to be in, we got to talk about how to come out of the back tail. Kind of bring this back to the beginning of the video, depending on how you're rolling up to this trick. So if you're rolling up pretty parallel to it, you're going to ollie in, you're going to probably come out to regular. And the reason why is when you ride up parallel, I feel like your shoulders personally help you kind of stand up a little bit more right there in that position when you ollie in, versus when you kind of carve into it. So when you kind of approach it at the angle and you start doing your back 180 early, I feel like it's a little bit easier to go to fakie already, just because you're in that motion. Your shoulders are already kind of over your body, so you're already ready to rotate. I think it's pretty important to learn both of them, obviously. I think it's a little bit easier, in my opinion, to go to fakie first, because it's a little less scary. You don't actually have to fully commit in standing all the way up on your back tail. You could definitely get away with this kind of scraping it and going to fakie. I think that's a great way to learn it. So pretty much what I'm saying is definitely try to do both, see what feels comfortable. If you are going to fakie though, that is kind of nice because in the future, it's gonna set you up for back tail shove it. It'll be just like second nature doing that. So when you are actually up in your back tail and you're gonna go to regular, what I'm really doing is using my shoulder and I'm kind of fighting the backside to go front side. In a fakie, it's pretty easy. You really just have to stay hunched over in that position when you got into the back tail and just turn out. And as you can see, a really good way to practice that is literally standing on top of the ledge like I just did and practice doing the 180 out and going to regular. By doing this, it'll probably help you figure out which way is going to be easier for you. All right, that was the back tail. Hopefully those tricks and tips helped you guys. So those are a few things that helped me get comfortable learning back tail. Hopefully it gives you guys the confidence to get those back tails done. Anyways, thanks for watching. By the way, actually your boy just got verified on YouTube, which is pretty crazy. Couldn't have done it without you guys. I don't know, there's a special check mark there now. I don't know how it got there, but it's there now. So thank you again for everybody who's watched all my trick tips and everything. Appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you guys soon.